You're listening to the Late Night Football Show with your host, Rohit Singh. That's me. On this show, we talk about some of the most serious, least silly topics from the world of football for your entertainment and enjoyment. Please remember that the show is BYOL. Bring your own laughs, since we don't have the budget for a studio audience. Happy listening. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Late Night Football. No, don't adjust your sets. It's just me this time. We don't have any guests today. I did say that I wasn't gonna do. I was footballed out. I was zoned out yesterday, but so much has happened between then and now that I felt we should do another video. And we don't have a guest today, but it's just me. But really excited to be here. It's actually my first time doing a video. I just realized that I've not done a solo episode in a long time. I've done solo audio recordings before, as you might remember, but this is my first time actually doing a solo video. So it's an interesting experience for me as well. And I hope it's going to be an interesting experience and a fun experience for you for the next little bit as we do a bit of a roundup of football, not just from the Premier League, but we're also going to talk about some of the other European leagues because we don't just do Premier League on this show, even though we don't do much of it, but we will do a little bit outside of the Premier League as well today. So before I do, I just want to mention everyone, please do subscribe to this channel if you're new. We had 104 subscribers as of my last count. Maybe it's increased, but please, we want to get to 110 subscribers. We want to start growing this channel, so please support us. Please do subscribe to the video. Also, like and share this video if you enjoy what you watch. So let's get right into it. Let's start with the Premier League, and we're going to talk about today's games. We're going to talk about Spurs West Ham, which was the first game of the day, and interesting one. For 16 minutes, Spurs 3-0 up. Really fun game, and Kane and Son on fire. I honestly think that might very well be the best strike partnership at the moment in the Premier League. I can't think of any others. Maybe Havertz and Werner might get there, but I can't think of anyone else that's as much on form as Kane and Son. Really wonderfully combining well, really doing well. And they were 3-0 up, and you would have thought at that point that that's it, stop, lock, shop, whatever the phrase is, lock it up, let's go home, let's give Bale a bit of a run out, 60th minute, and then go on from there, get ready for the Europa League coming up. But Spurs are Spurs. They did bring on Bale in the 72nd minute. It was a nice moment for him to come on for his second debut for Spurs, I'm sure. But what followed after that was just it was really diabolical. I think that's the best way to put it. To go from 3-0 up to be 3-3, that's worse than what Chelsea did, which was they were 2-0 up and then 2-2 and then 3-2, 3-3. Especially and then the goals, they were avoidable from West Ham. I think it was a little bit of complacency, a little bit of lackadaisicalness, maybe a bit of nerves as well for Spurs. But you would expect a Jose Mourinho coach team to do better than that defensively. But it has been a recurring theme this season for all the teams. I think every team or most teams are very good going forward, but then they're really bad defending. So it's a real problem that's affecting all of the big clubs this season. And I don't know what the reason is. Maybe the lack of preseason, so they haven't had time to organize defenses properly. Maybe that is the reason. We've spoken about it on the show before. Maybe that is the reason. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's concentration issues. Maybe it's this because they're not able to feed off of the crowd, so they're not able to. Maybe that's an issue. I don't know what the issue is, but it is a real problem, and it does make for entertaining games, especially when the team comes back from 3-0 down in the last 10 minutes. It's hard to watch that from a Spurs point of view because they probably deserve to win the game, but it was lapse in concentration, and they need to sort. I can't really pinpoint if they need to sort something out because they were pretty good in the last game when they won 6-1 against Manchester United. So I'm not sure if they need to sort something out. Maybe maybe there is a mental issue that they need to work on, and they need to think about what to do about that. But I think that is it. This is one of those. Maybe it's one of those games that we talk about. But it was certainly good to watch, and good on West Ham, and good for David Moyes, and better luck next time for Spurs. And then the second game was Leicester against Aston Villa. It was a claret day, wasn't it? Because Aston Villa beat Leicester as well. They did beat West Ham, only drew, but it feels like a win for West Ham. But Aston Villa beat Leicester 1-0, late goal from Ross Barkley, assisted by who else but Jack Grealish. It's it is he's yeah. I mean, he's some player, Jack Grealish. I mean, I know 80 million pounds is a lot of money that Villa were asking, but I can see why he's worth 80 million pounds for Villa. He's amazing, incredible player, and Villa again 4 wins out of 4, doing really well. I don't know about Leicester. You know, they're very inconsistent. They win a game, lose a game, win a game. It's I think I don't think they will be in the conversation for European spots. I think it's very open, the conversation for European spots, and I'll come to that in a minute. But I don't think Leicester. I think Leicester are sort of they're in danger of falling away from that. I mean, it's still very early. It's only 5 games, but they do seem to be too inconsistent, and the Europa League will take its toll as well. But for Villa, incredible 4 wins out of 4 now, the only perfect team remaining in this competition after Everton drew yesterday. So they're now second in the table, and great for Ross Barkley as well. I think fallen out of favor at Chelsea, not doing that well at Everton, but he's now maybe Villa is where the home is, where the heart is, and maybe he'll flourish there. Interesting as well. I mean, I'm sure some people must be thinking about this. Leicester escaped relegation barely in 2015, and then they won the league title in 2016. So maybe Villa will do the same. Barely escape relegation and then win the title. I don't think so. But it's the similarities are there. I'm sure some people are going to be pointing that out, that there are similarities between Leicester and Villa. I think that won't happen, but nonetheless, it's really open. But it's great for Villa. It's great for the league as well, because now you've got. I believe that if we don't go into another lockdown, and that's a big if because we don't know what's going to happen. But if you don't go into another lockdown, I think Everton and Villa are right there in that conversation for European places, because the one advantage they have is that they won't have any distractions of Europe. Right? They're not going to play in the Champions League. They're not going to play in the Europa League. So they're going to play 1 game a week, or they're going to play at the same schedule that the other teams are going to play at in the league, and then they'll have more rest time. If we do get into COVID, then the games will become more congested, and that might take a toll because of the squad size. But like it affected Leicester and like it affected Sheffield last year. But if we don't go into lockdown, I think Everton and Aston Villa are definitely going to be in conversation for European spots. I'm not saying just Champions League, but I think top 6 they will be in the conversation for that. I believe that. Again, it's still very early, and we don't know what's going to happen. And we'll have to see, because next week Aston Villa take on Leeds, and that's a pretty winnable game, all things considered. And then you've got Everton taking on Southampton. Again, pretty winnable for Everton, though Southampton will probably disagree, but those are winnable games. So there is a chance that I think you just got to take it game by game for those guys and just see where they're at. I think next, and not also to mention that Chelsea are taking on Manchester United. So one of those teams at least will drop points, if not both of them. So there's a chance to extend their lead as well there for both Villa and Everton. And the fact that we're talking about it that way it seems strange, but there is hope. There is hope for those teams based on what we are seeing so far. I think as long as I think the key is just going to be to stay fit. Richarlison's red card will be a blow, and we'll talk about this in the preview, but that might be a blow. But overall, I believe that as long as there's not too many distractions, there's no fixture congestion, I think Villa and Everton are well placed to at least challenge. I'm not saying they're going to get it, but I think they will definitely challenge for the European places. But as I said, a lot more time to come. But a quick look at the table, though. Everton are top, 13 points, and Villa is second, 12 points with a game in hand. So they could actually go top if they win that game in hand, which we don't know when that will happen, but they could go top. So it's crazy. It's really crazy. And it's interesting, but it's open. I can't predict a title winner this year. That I think is something that's going to be up in the air. So maybe we'll get a clear picture after 10, 15 games, but it's definitely shaping up to be an interesting season. But it's not an interesting season only in England. I know a lot of people talk about Premier League being competitive, but Serie A this year is shaping up to be pretty competitive as well. And I'm going to pull this up because I want to take a look at this right now. Serie A. So we had the Milan derby yesterday, AC Milan against Inter Milan, and that was brilliant because AC Milan won that game. So they now also have a perfect start, 4 wins out of 4 to the season, and really good games. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, evergreen, still doing his thing. It's a bit of a cliche the way Zlatan talks about himself in third person. I know a lot of us mock it and a lot of us love it, but you can't deny the man's quality. I think he's an amazing, incredible player, an incredible athlete, and we may never see another one like him again. But he's definitely proving it for Milan. And if he takes them to the title, I think that's a massive achievement for him and for the club if they can win the league title. And it is interesting at the moment. The If you look at the table, Juventus at the moment are struggling a little bit because I believe that, yeah, they do have a game in hand, but they've only won one and they've drawn two. So they do have a new coach. So Pirlo, I mean, as Farhan said yesterday, not sure about his credentials with the job. Is he gonna struggle? Is he gonna do well? I mean, but the one thing with novice coaches, with new coaches, is if the players don't buy into your ideas quickly, if you don't get good results quickly, sometimes the players turn on you pretty easily because they know they can. And so it's going to be hard for Pirlo, and not to mention he's dealing with a lot of egos. He's already having issues with Dybala, so there's all the fractions already starting to happen. So don't know where that's going to take, and that's good. Napoli as well, 3 wins out of 3, by the way, really doing well as well. And Gattuso, again, former Milan guy, Gennaro Gattuso, doing really well there as well. So there are a few teams. I mean, you still got Lazio, you've got Atlanta, who was thrashed by Napoli, but maybe they'll bounce back from that. Maybe they'll be strong challengers as well. And you've still got Inter, you've still got Juventus as well, who will be there thereabouts. So it's going to be tight. It's going to be interesting. And not just the race for the title, but also the Champions League spots. That'll be really, really interesting. So Serie A is also shaping up to be very competitive, very open, and that's good to see. That's what we want to see as football fans. We want to have more and more competition, more and more games. And it's been 9 years of Juventus dominance, so it's about time somebody else came in and won the league title. I think, and Serie A definitely deserves, is due for a new champion. So let's hope that happens this year, and let's hope. Let's see where that goes. For the clubs there. And then talking about, we're also going to talk about La Liga. And there's a big game coming up this weekend, El Clasico, Real Madrid against Barcelona. And we'll do that. We'll do a preview for that in our next preview show. We'll definitely talk about that. But before that, they warmed up this weekend by losing, both of them. Madrid lost to Cadiz and Barcelona lost to Getafe, if I'm not mistaken. Was it Getafe or was it Osasuna? I think it was Getafe. I believe it was Getafe. Wasn't it Getafe? Let's confirm. Let's confirm right now. I know it's a bit unprofessional, but let's do it. Right. Yep, it was Getafe. They lost to Getafe. So it's interesting. We did talk about this in our La Liga preview show. It just feels La Liga is devoid of star quality at this point. And I don't know whether it's COVID, whether it's something else, but it doesn't feel the same. Madrid and Barcelona just don't look the same. They don't feel the same. And I know I said this last year, where you thought Atletico were going to go on and win the title because of this, perceived diminishing of strength for the big two, but they couldn't. Let's hope this year is different. Maybe Atletico, maybe Sevilla can ramp up and step up and win the title, because it's there for the taking. When you think about it, Real Madrid haven't replaced Ronaldo. They don't have a lot of striking depth beyond Benzema. They're struggling, mightily in terms of who's going to be the backup striker, where the goals are going to come from. Even last year, their success was more about Benzema having this otherworldly form and having a really good defense rather than a good team or a good striker. So they need resources beyond Benzema, and it just, I don't know where that's going to come, where the goals are going to come from. And if their defense doesn't click, then it's easy for them to drop points. So Barcelona, they had a pretty decent start of the season, to be honest. They're not that far off, but it just feels like at the moment there just seems to be so much instability at the boardroom level, at the management level, that you just don't know what you're going to get from them. And I know Koeman is not very well liked by the players, by a lot of the players. I know the board is definitely not liked by many of the players, and there is a bit of a discord there. So there are issues that need to be sorted out, and I don't know. I have no idea where that is going for Barcelona this season, because this is a pivotal season in some ways, because if they don't win a trophy, and we're talking about league or the Champions League, if Messi hasn't already made his mind up to leave, and there's talk that if there is a new board, a new director, a new president, then he will stay. He might consider staying. But if they don't win a trophy, even a new president or director may not be enough to keep him, because he's probably going to be looking and thinking, I've got a couple of years left. City are going to give me some easy money, or PSG are going to give me some easy money. There's a better chance of me winning some trophies at City or PSG rather than doing it here. And so I might as well just leave at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, that's what players want. Right? It's not about money for Messi at this point. I'm assuming it's not about money. It's about winning stuff, and being part of some great teams, and that's what he wants. So if it's not going to be at Barcelona, then he's probably going to be well within his rights to say, I'm going to move off. So Barcelona, and I think that instability is causing issues because they have got to keep Messi happy, but at the same time, you've also got to look at these other players, and you've got to look at this other behind the scenes stuff for the club. So it's a bit of a mess right now for Barcelona. I think that is going to rub off. It feels like it is rubbing off on the players or the team a little bit. But like I said, they had a pretty decent start to the season, so maybe it's just one game. I think the Clásico will be key because if Barcelona win that, then you would think, you know what, it's totally fine. They can. It was just a blip. This game was just a blip. But if they lose that, then I think there will be questions will start to be asked of Koeman and of the team. So it's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting. But again, La Liga also really competitive. At the moment, Real Sociedad are the top of the league. I don't think it will stay that way, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that Sevilla can survive. I know Atletico also being inconsistent, and it's sad to see with Atletico because you almost feel like it's all there. When I play FIFA on career mode, Atletico win the Champions League within a year or two. I've noticed this. If I don't win, if my team doesn't win, it's Atletico. So it's obvious that there's a team there, that's very high in potential. I'm not saying Atletico are world class anymore. I'm saying they have a very high potential team. It's just that they have this issue of being able to bring everything together. There's just maybe it's Simeone, maybe it's the players, but just not able to gel everything together. The ingredients are there, and they can win a league title. It's just I don't know. I don't know what's missing. But hopefully they can sort that out and go on a good run and provide some competition. And hopefully Sevilla can do that as well. Maybe Sevilla can be the dark horses this year, and it would be nice to see. It would be nice to see for sure. Finally, enough of the men's stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about women's football because we're very inclusive and very diverse here at Late Night Football. But we're going to talk about the Women's Super League. We're going to talk about the Women's Super League because Arsenal women beat Tottenham women 6-1. And I'm saying women just to make clear, but actually, we should probably just say Arsenal beat Tottenham 6-1. Incredible game. They were 6-0 up actually, Arsenal, and then Tottenham got a goal back. Viviane Miedema, somebody who the name who I first heard during the World Cup, player for the Netherlands, very incredible player. She's come to Arsenal, and now she's already the WSL stops record goal scorer. She's already done that, and she's an incredible player. Somebody any football fan should watch. Really, really incredible player, and she got a hat trick. And she's really doing well. And Arsenal just seem on a different level at this point. 5 wins out of 5. They've really put on a clinic of sorts. 29 goals scored as well. So the 6-1 is not an aberration. They are going at 6. They were going at almost 6 goals a game even before this one. So really doing well. And a lot of people will probably compare with the men's team, but the Arsenal women's team has been at the top for much longer. And they have been more consistent. So definitely not a fair comparison, but for sure, I mean, it's great to see Arsenal doing well. It's great to see, the WSL doing well because I think more competitive women's teams is good for the league, for women's football in general, because Lyon have been dominant in Europe for a long, long time. So if you get more competition from other leagues, other countries, other clubs, then it really builds that space up, and it gives more opportunities for everyone. So it's great to see Arsenal doing well. Shout out to Man United women as well. I think they won 4-2. They are unbeaten as well. I don't think they'll win the league, but they are unbeaten as of now after 4 games. Really, is it? Yeah, I think they played only 4 games. I'm not sure. Let me confirm that as well. Why not? While we're here, might as well. No, they have played 5 games, but they didn't win. They have won 4 games, but they drew 1, and that was, I think, with Chelsea that they drew. Chelsea, of course, weren't able to play their game in hand. So they have a game in hand because they were unable to play because some of the players, I think, on the Villa team had tested positive for COVID, so they couldn't play that game. But Chelsea are doing well as well. So it's very competitive, the women's league as well. It's very competitive, and it's great to see Manchester United women doing well somewhere. Man United doing well somewhere, even if it's the women's team. I know this doesn't get a lot of mentions, but Casey Stoney really has done a wonderful job with the team. I think she basically was given a team that United women only launched like 2 or 3 years ago, and there was no women's team, and Casey Stoney basically has built a team from scratch, literally built a team from scratch for Manchester United, and she's done an incredible job taking them from the second division. Now they are pretty much a top six, top four player in the WSL. So that's an incredible achievement, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful to see the team doing well, and they're scoring a lot of goals, and that's good to see. It is a young team, by the way, Manchester United women. They're a young team, and hopefully they can be contenders for the title as well. Not this year, maybe, but maybe in a couple of years they can be title contenders as well, because Lord knows the men's team is not going to be title contenders for a while. So we might, if we can get the women's team, at least that's something for us fans to hold on to. But really amazing, incredible job done by Casey Stoney. And I'd rather have her than Van Giggs as manager of Manchester United if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was ever sacked. To be honest, I'll say that. I'll say it. I'd rather have Casey Stoney as the manager of Manchester United men's team over Ryan Giggs. I'm not saying that she should be first choice. My first choice is different. I don't want Solskjaer to be sacked, by the way. I say that. I don't want him to be sacked. But if he were to be sacked, I have other choices before I would go to Ryan Giggs. But I know a lot of people, make that meme, would give it to Giggsy. But rather than Ryan Giggs, I would have Casey Stoney before that. But there are a few other people that I hope it doesn't come to that. I think there are other managers that might be more suited at this moment in time to manage Manchester United. But anyway, that's a conversation for another day. They did win yesterday, so hopefully that will be the start of something good. I don't know. We'll know more in the coming days and weeks. But in the meantime, let's enjoy the good stuff that football has to offer. And the biggest challenge, obviously, for all the teams now is COVID, because we are in the second wave, and who knows what's going to happen. There's already lockdowns happening. So there might be another shutdown coming. I hope not, but it might be coming, and we might have to do without football again. So that I think that right now is the biggest challenge for all the teams, hoping that doesn't happen. But let's enjoy the football while it's here, even if it's without fans, even if it is without atmosphere. Let's try and enjoy it, and let's keep our hopes up. But stay safe. Have a good day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember again to like and share if you did, and also remember to subscribe if you're new to this channel. We normally have guests, but I wanted to do this. I thought it was some interesting news that I wanted to talk about. So let's just do it by myself. I haven't done one of these in a while, so hopefully you liked it. It is a little bit weird, though. I must say, looking at myself in the camera while I'm talking, it's a bit weird, but nonetheless, it's enjoyable for sure. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Have a good day or night, depending on what time you're watching this. Have a good week ahead, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, thank you so much for listening to that episode of Late Night Football. We need your help to grow this channel, so if you've been enjoying the show thus far, please do like and subscribe to this channel and share it with your friends, family, colleagues, neighbors, drinking buddies, fellow football fans, and anybody else you know or don't know. We'd really appreciate it. Please also follow us on Twitter and Facebook via the links in the description below, and spread the word about us. Take care.